Look what the mice did. They tore up the insulation. They built nests in here. And this one. Actually, this one looks fine. They're not doing anything to this one. And this one doesn't look like they're doing anything in here either. I'm going to show you why they're making a mess out of this one and what I've done to keep them out of everything else. The way I solved the mouse problem around here is I got a cat. The cat ate all the mice, no more problem. End of story. Thank you for watching. Nah, I didn't get a cat. I'm not sure a cat would last long around here. The larger predators would probably eat the cat. What I did was I made a moat around the place. I'm not talking about the kind of moat that has piranhas, alligators, and sharks in it. I'm talking about a mouse moat, a rat and mouse moat. One of the reasons why they've been tearing up and making a mess out of the Chevy is I've been parking it down here, outside of the moat. What is down here that's different? We have junk, brush, more junk, lumber piles, my wood pile. This is all prime mouse habitat. This is screaming to all the mice in the country a message of, hey, come on over here, tear up my vehicles for me. Even if I park something out in the woods away from anything I've created, it's still probably going to get mice in it because mice live in the woods. It's what they do. But when I park things up here, I just don't have the problems with the mice. I have a few weak spots up here. This fire trailer could be prime rat and mouse habitat. A little junk pile over here. I have this firewood pile up here. This could be good habitat, but I rarely have mice up here. And I don't think I've ever seen rats up here. I think that's because of this moat I have around this spot. Not a moat with piranhas, alligators, sharks, poisonous sea snakes, and other mean things. This is a moat with owls, hawks, foxes, bobcats, the predators that eat those nasty little rodents. Wait a minute, sharks and poisonous sea snakes, they live in salt water. They can't live with piranhas and alligators. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. When mice come out of the woods where they have plenty of cover, where they can be happy little mice, into this open area where there's not much cover for them, this could be a scary place for a mouse. There's not much cover for them. If there's an owl or a hawk up in the tree that sees a mouse scurrying around through the open, they could be a quick meal for a hungry predator. I've never had a conversation with a mouse. I never got into their head, see how they view the world, but I have an idea. Mice don't like a situation like this. This would be a very dangerous place for them. And I have a 100-yard moat of that all around this place. 100 yards is a long way for a football player to run across the field with a ball when he's got a whole team of big tough guys trying to tackle him. Imagine what 100 yards would be for a mouse to cross where there's very little cover for them on the ground when it's surrounded by a whole bunch of predators that are trying to eat it. I don't know this for sure, but this might be the reason why I rarely have rodent problems up here. It's not 100% effective. I keep a couple traps set up here. Once in a while, I will catch a mouse. Maybe sometimes they do make that long, dangerous, scary journey. I'm also suspicious they may come in on things. Like when I bring a vehicle from out there up here and park it, then the mouse, it's a mouse. The mouse does what mice do and they get out and get caught in the trap. I think the trap is a key part of it. When one does rarely make it up here, I get them before they get a chance to get established. I do have a few weak links in the moat. Today we're going to patch some of those up and fortify it. The reason I hooked this up with 2 chokers and cut this log in 2, if I left this one long, it would probably take out that white oak and get hung up on those stumps. This way, it will fold and go up the hole and not wipe out that oak or that oak. A little cleanup here, a little cleanup there. Here a cleanup, there a cleanup, everywhere a cleanup. We ended up with a pretty good load of logs and junk that were potentially compromising my rodent moat. Was that scattered junk out here providing significant cover for rodents? I don't know. But what I do know, it'll be easier to keep this area mowed with all those out of the way. I think that's one of the key components, keeping the vegetation mowed down for a long distance. Rodents will go out into a field if there's vegetation, that provides them cover. But if that's stripped down to the ground, like I said, I haven't actually asked them about it, but I think that makes them a little bit nervous. Now what to do with all these stumps? They're obstacles to mow around. If anything, they're just a big eyesore. But that's another project for another day. Now we're gonna go way over there. Way over there on the other side of this ridge. Not the far mountain way over there, but the far ridge. Here we are, way over there. Since we took all that habitat away way over there, wait, this is way over there. Well, now that we're here, over there is way over there. This is here. We're going to try to make up for some of that by creating some new habitat over here. All right, now we have habitat over here. All kinds of things can use this now. Mice, lizards, frogs, salamanders. These logs scattered around didn't make much habitat, but all in one pile, I think this is higher quality habitat for a lot of things. They can just live over here on this side of the property where I don't have anything for them to get into and tear up as long as they want, or until something eats them, which won't work out well for them, but that should make whatever ends up eating them happy. Now we're way back over here inside the moat. Now we're going to make it so when an occasional mouse does make it all the way up here, instead of thinking, home sweet home, it's going to be thinking, this place has a serious housing shortage, a housing crisis. This place is stupid. Let's get out of here. Let's go way over there where I hear there's a big pile of logs that we could live in. I didn't pick my parking very well. That'll get us by, because that's the kind of logic, reasoning, and planning that mice tend to have. All right, all cleaned up. Nowhere to live, nowhere to hide. And I didn't make you watch me clean all that up just so I could get more watch hours. But I have achieved Rodentus inhospitalitas. It's the next day, it is now tomorrow. What we did yesterday took a lot longer than what the video would suggest it did, and I got a late start yesterday, so we're gonna finish this today. Okay, not finish it, but I'm gonna finish the part that I'm going to finish today. We're back at the junk pile here. This junk pile, all of this reminds me of St. Louis. The junk, all this brush and slash, the lumber piles, the wood pile. What is St. Louis? It's the gateway to the West. It's where the explorers and the settlers prepared to make their journeys across the plains and the deserts to go out west. While making that journey, they were vulnerable. It was dangerous for them. Many of them didn't survive, but a lot of them did. But I think humans are more intelligent and resourceful than mice are. Well, some of them are. To a mouse, this concentration of habitat right next to the rodent moat might be like the gateway to the rodent moat. They can make their homes here, reproduce and multiply. I guess that's the same thing, reproduce and multiply, until occasionally one decides to make that journey out across the rodent moat. Most of them never make it, or more likely they probably don't even try, because it's just not their jam out there. They like junk and things to hide in. And on the rare occasion when one actually makes it all the way up there, wham, trapped. Which reminds me of the saying, the mouse never realizes why the cheese is free until it's too late. I don't know if that's how things really work in the mouse world, but if I park something here, I'm going to be catching mice out of it one after the other. If I park it up there, not so much. So I'm going to clean all this up, partly because I'm tired of looking at it. How many wood stoves can someone have just laying around their property before they are automatically considered to be a redneck? This old pile of plastic has always been a mouse hotel. Now we're at a different way over there, which we've turned into way over here by being here. It's funny how that works. This stove just did a along the way. This is the most awkward, unwieldy stove I've ever tried to wield. This is my junk pile. Mostly it's a staging area where I'm accumulating things for a trip to the scrap yard. And I'm waiting for the county to have their annual tire roundup to get rid of all these. I've been waiting to bring these things over there because I knew I was going to need to have the tractor way over there to load them. Then I'm going to have to bring this over here, walk back over there, go get the tractor, bring it way over here to unload them. I wanted to wait until I needed to have the tractor on this side of the property anyway. That'd be a good time to bring it over here. That time has come, so now we got to walk way over there, go get the tractor. That was a whole lot more walking than this video would suggest it was. And there's going to be a whole lot more driving this tractor all the way to way over there than this video is going to suggest there will be. Does it make a difference if one of these wood stoves is not mine? I'll cover this up just in case its owner ever wants it back. Keep it out of the rain. And what are the chances I'm actually going to get around to getting Grandpa's old cement mixer working again? We're back to way over here. I don't know if moving these things out of here had much to do with the mice, but it's the first step in getting this place cleaned up. I'm glad to have these not here so I don't have to look at them anymore. I'll burn all this slash in here another time. I still have some trees to thin out in here, so I'll wait for those to come down so we can burn it all at once. My plan is to convert this area from being St. Louis to being an extension of the moat. The lumber piles will go away in due time. The firewood pile, I'm not going to move that. That's going to be a whole lot of time and labor. I'm just going to burn that this year, and it'll go away as I use it, and I won't replace it there. It'll just go away. I know they're in there and in there because every time I move either the lumber or the wood, I can tell they're in there. One of the reasons I have my britches so all up in a bunch over mice, a friend of mine used to work at the Ford dealership. He said one of the problems they've been having is mice get into the air conditioning and heating ducts, build nests, or even worse, they die in there. It's a huge, probably really expensive job to get that out of there. I've already changed the cabin air filter one time, and there was already a mouse. There was already a mouse went up in there, started chewing its way through it. I'm pretty sure that happened at the ranch. I caught a couple of them under the hood when this thing was parked at the ranch this summer. Ford, and probably other manufacturers too. These vehicles are so expensive, they have so much technology. Can't we figure out a way to build these so mice won't go up into the air ducts? Is that too much to ask? I was also talking to a heavy equipment mechanic a while back. He said one of the problems they have, people bring in their newer equipment, they have all these electronics on them, something's wrong, they spend thousands of dollars in diagnosis, it ends up being a mouse or a rat chewed through a wire. Can't we make things so mice and rats? We've been dealing with these critters for thousands of years. Haven't we figured out yet that we should build things in ways that keep rodents from getting in them and tearing them up? You've been making vehicles for a long time, Ford and General Motors. In this one, they have made it all the way through the air ducts, or somehow they've made it into the cab. Since my vehicles can't seem to handle the situation, I'm going to great lengths to try to keep the mice out of here, which I've done a pretty good job of doing. That's enough of that rant, and I think it's enough of this video. I'll put some more up here for you to watch. I don't know what it'll be yet, but that'll give you something to do until the next video comes out.